7. Barrett outside, the switch. Doncic goes, oh, what a great step! And then he hammers it home! Broke his ankles!
Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all is well. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. I really do appreciate it. And we're talking about Julius Randle, because Julius Randle has been playing some very good basketball as of late. You could say he's been pretty solid all season. There definitely still has been some lows. There's ups and downs when it comes to Julius Randle. You could say he's one of the most polarizing players that we've really had in Knicks history. You could say that's some recency bias, but literally Julius Randle has so much talent. But I've always talked about this physically. His overall talent from the eyeball test is there, but it comes down to his basketball IQ, his feel, making the right decisions out there on the floor. There's so many mixed emotions when it comes to Julius Randle. Do we trade him when he's playing well or playing at this good level because you try to get the most for him right now? No way he's going to sustain this style of play. He's not even a top 2 option on a championship team. He may choke when it comes playoff time. Or no, maybe this is the Julius Randle we've had all along, and we've had to have a point guard with him. And I'm kind of in between, because I understand the good with Julius Randle and I understand the bad with Julius Randle. So the positive lately, obviously in December, coming off of averaging 28 points, double-digit rebounds, 4 assists. This overall season, he's averaging 24 points. He's shooting 46% from the field, 9.9 rebounds per game, 3.3 assists. He is shooting only like 33.8% from 3, but then you take a look at the last 15 games, he is shooting 36% from 3, and you look at the power forward position, the average percentage is to shoot 35% from beyond the arc when it comes to that position, because it's easy to say like 36%, it's like average, but you have to really put it in the context when it comes to the positions and what they're asked to do, and certain skill sets are just a totally different story. But one of the main reasons Randle's really polarizing, obviously the first year with the New York Knicks, you could say he's disappointing, but then you could also say he had a very bad coach, David Fizdale. There was not much structure at all. It was a very interesting offseason. You know, we had high aspirations or high expectations to get KD, Kyrie. I'm not going to be getting into that much, but you know, we have these dreams, Zion. We end up with RJ Barrett, but then we bring in Julius Randle, who actually ends up being the face of the Knicks, not the guy we drafted 3rd overall, which I thought was extremely interesting. Randle's ball dominant, made low IQ decisions with the basketball, would turn over the ball down the stretch. He was stunned the development of RJ. Tons of people could say, I even thought that at the time, you would take too many outside jumpers for someone that wasn't even a threat from the outside during the time. And a lot of people wanted him traded. We draft Obi Toppin, and it's like he's definitely gone. Goes on to have this breakout year, hits fadeaway jumpers. His effort on defense is amazing. He's in better shape. He's hitting threes from the outside. He's making nice reads out there on the floor. Derrick Rose obviously was a huge reason we went on to have a run. Reggie Bullock provided defense, but Julius Randle was the star of the show. He ended up making the All-Star team. 4th seed, unbelievable. You know, Randle's playing at an unbelievable level, but when it came playoff time, his basketball IQ wasn't there. He started looking like first-year Julius Randle. He didn't have the feel. He didn't feel the double team, just like the first year John Collins got in his head, and that was a big thing. If you get in his head mentally, Julius Randle's a pretty easy player, you could say, to really contain in big moments, and Randle just didn't step up in the big moments. He pretty much did choke in that series, but it's like, yeah, let's go out there. Let's see what he could do with a point guard. Let's see what he could do with someone else. Obviously, we end up with Kemba Walker. We didn't really have a big-time free agency or anything like that. And you could say maybe him choking in the playoffs or him just not playing well in the playoffs. There was tons of pressure on him that it really got to him when it came to the 3rd season with the New York Knicks. Yes, statistically, he was there. He was averaging, 20 and 10. He still averaged damn near double-double. He was getting points, but his efficiency from the outside going from 41% dipped to 32%. He took some very low-quality shots. For the shots he took the prior season with no fans weren't knocking, like they weren't falling, and that was a huge thing. It was like, is he only making these shots because there's less pressure, because there's no fans, because of the virus year? But when it came to his IQ, it was awful, and you could say that's not always been a high part of his game, but definitely the second year with the Knicks, I thought he made rapid, quicker decisions with the basketball, but you didn't see the leadership there. You really didn't. You saw there was less hustle out there on the floor, and it definitely did affect the Knicks. Like, a lot of people were saying if Derrick Rose was healthy, we would have made the playoffs. Julius Randle was averaging the most points. He was having maybe you could say, like, there's different ways you could impact the game, but Randle was one of the main reasons we went to the playoffs. Like, we're not going to the playoffs even if Derrick Rose was playing at a very high level, because Randle wasn't playing at a high level. He was inefficient, and he settled for bad jumpers. He was ball dominant, and a lot of people are going to look at the assists, but then he had turnovers in big moments as well. His body language was the biggest thing, though. Like, you could... Like, yes, it's tough that he's struggling from the outside, struggling with efficiency and that type of thing, but you could live with it as long as he's playing hard out there on the floor, and you didn't get that. You didn't get good body language from Julius Randle. When it would look like we're going to lose the game, he would start an altercation. It would be a total mess. Like, he would let people get in his head, and that's a huge thing with Julius Randle, that I feel like mentally he's not there. Like, he's not mentally strong, but physically, he's a very strong player. So those are two opposites when it comes to Julius Randle's game. He should be playing strong, but also be mentally tough out there on the floor and know your worth out there on the floor. So, yeah, he would start some altercations at the end of games. Like, remember that moment that he shut the laptop on his coach? Like, this is a very frustrating year, I bet, for Julius Randle, but no excuses. Like, you got to be in a better headspace than that. But we're all human at the end of the day. But, like, doing the thumbs down to the crowd, I thought was unacceptable. And we all thought he was done after that. Like, once you do stuff like that, especially in a New York setting with that type of media, it's like you're traded. And he didn't go on to be traded. He didn't go on to be traded, as he's still obviously a New York Knick. And then this season, like, it's still early in the season, but at the beginning, like, yeah, he had good performances, but then there was still, like, some downs. His shot from the outside wasn't falling. At one point, he was shooting like 25% from three. Yes, it's only at like 33.8 right now, but his shots weren't falling at all from beyond the arc. And I was like, his IQ doesn't look good. Like, my stance is the same with Julius Randle, and I'm still like, is this guy like the guy moving forward? Like, yeah, he's playing good basketball right now, but this is the thing. So he's had good games, he's had bad games, but this, I'm gonna sum up Julius Randle in the best way I can. Watching Randle this year, better body language. He's playing tough. He's playing more hungry. He's hustling more, like he was that good year with the New York Knicks, the second year that we went to the playoffs. We're currently 2 games over 500. He is one of the main reasons we are winning games this season. Are we a fantastic team right now? No. Because, yes, we're on a 2-game winning streak currently, but we were on a 5-game losing streak before. And you could say there's some blame to go around when it comes to that losing streak. Everyone had to be better. Don't get me wrong. But, yeah, you look at Randle. His shot has been falling lately. Last 15 games shooting 36% from 3. I feel he's making wiser decisions with the ball. And we have Jalen Brunson at point guard now. So you could say there's less pressure on him to do everything out there on the floor. Obviously, the last few games before Jalen Brunson came back, last game versus the Phoenix Suns, Julius Randle really did have the keys when it came to offense. Yes, quickly would bring up the ball. McBride at times as well in their certain rotations. But Randle obviously was that guy. But I feel there's less pressure on Randle's shoulders now when you have a point guard of Jalen Brunson. Is he a pass-first Jason Kidd, like pass-first Jason Kidd point guard, Steve Nash point guard, like Lonzo Ball? Like, obviously Lonzo Ball's not at that tier, but when healthy, he's a pass-first type of guy. Is he that type of guy? No. But there's less pressure, and I believe there's a sigh of relief for Julius Randle when he's like, I'm not the only one that has to create jump shots off the dribble in this offense. RJ can create work downhill. He's developed when it's come to that like little fadeaway. You know, he's attempting some step backs as well, but Jalen Brunson has proven more that he has this bag of attacking downhill, putting up floaters, that fadeaway, step backs at times as well. So there's probably a sigh of relief that Brunson can create, but he could also create a shot like for himself. So he's not the only, like, there's another added element of someone else that could score the basketball, which I bet is huge, because you see Randle the last couple seasons or prior seasons before this season, who knows, it's still pretty early in the season, we still have some games to go, but he's averaging a career low in turnovers when it's come to like his highest usage with the Knicks or since joining the Knicks. He's currently averaging like 2.3 turnovers, 2 turnovers, while the prior seasons he was averaging like exactly 3.3 turnovers per game. So he has been more disciplined with the ball. Don't get me wrong, there's still moments, even though his turnovers are down. This is the thing with Randle. So he's attacking strong around the basket. He's rebounding like a beast. He's giving us second chance opportunities. He's going up strong. And I feel like there's more of a pace to this offense compared to past years that we have someone that can dribble up the ball and is actually a point guard. We know when to push it. We know when to play in the half-court setting and slow it down. So I feel he's getting more quality looks. But this is the thing. He's still knocking down those difficult shots from the outside, like difficult threes. He's still knocking down those fadeaways, but I feel like he's taking them more in necessary situations. And as of late, when it comes to this, like this stretch, like December, he's averaging 4 assists, which is really solid. And he's recognizing guys cutting, like such as a Grimes, because I feel like Grimes is someone that we could always consistently count on to cut to the basket. But he's recognizing the open man more, which I like. But we could say the same thing in the second year with the New York Knicks, because this is the concerning thing. When the bright lights are on, is Julius Randle going to play high IQ basketball, though? Because we've seen this with Randle, even with Brunson. Randle could be playing a good 3/4 of basketball. You know, his IQ could be on, his shots could be falling from the outside. But can we count on him to hit those shots in big moments? Because we've seen, again, with Brunson could distribute the ball to Randle in the big moments when having a big-time game in that fourth quarter. He starts taking dumb shots at times. He misses free throws. He did make those free throws versus Indiana. I believe that was like a month ago or a few weeks ago. But we can't count on that small of a sample size. He has shown more bad than good down the stretch when it comes to decision-making, holding onto the ball too long, and turning over the basketball in a big-time moment. You know, not making the right read. You don't always have to be that hero, especially with Jalen Brunson here now. You know, you don't have to settle for certain threes from beyond the arc. You don't have to take a contested mid-range jumper. You don't have to make some hero ball type of play. And I feel like he just hasn't shown that he is clutch. He hasn't. He's been unlucky in the clutch as well. I forgot who we were playing, but he literally airballed a shot like it slipped out of his hands around the basket in a big-time moment. Like, yes, that's unlucky, but he needs to find a way to, like, fix it down the stretch. If nothing's falling for you throughout that game, and even if shots are falling, but if the defense is keyed in on you, make the extra pass. It's a team sport. Other guys could hit shots for your team. Like, if you think of it as your team, obviously. Everyone could say it's Brunson's team, RJ's team. They're the New York Knicks at the end of the day. This is a team sport. But this season, he has been playing good basketball. He has our least solid basketball. He's been playing very good when it's come to December. 28 points, over 10 rebounds, 4 assists, like I mentioned. Good efficiency this season as well. He's shooting like 46% from the field. We're going to be getting into those numbers. But should we trade him now? Like, I don't know what his value is, though. Because this is probably some of the best basketball Julius Randle is going to be playing with the Knicks. And I don't know what his value is, but should we trade him while his value's high right now? Or do the New York Knicks really believe in him as a piece long term? And if we make the playoffs, I think that's going to speak a lot. Like, if he folds again in the playoffs and does not play well in the playoffs, I think that's going to speak volume of the Knicks are moving on from him. But then his trade value is going to be lower, like showing that he can't play in the big moments. So I think if we make the playoffs, that's pretty much going to be the decision for Julius Randle, because I feel like this organization really does like Julius Randle and they're not going to trade him. I think they love that he's playing at such a high level right now. There's more effort. He's really competing defensively. There is moments, though, that he stands around, but then you could say that for the entire Knicks defense sometimes as well, that it's like, is it the system? Sometimes when it comes to drop coverage, there's like miscommunications, but again, it's not always drop coverage. Most of the time it is miscommunications when someone is open from three. Yes, our three-point defense has gone better, but there's still miscommunications with that sometimes. Or, yeah, again, I don't know if it's a system. Sometimes Randle's guy's wide open outside on the perimeter and he's camping in the paint, maybe trying to snag that rebound, but we could always count on him to be consistent on the boards. We can consistently count on him to get to the basket and pretty much finish at the basket. But the outside shot, he's attempting 7 threes per game this season. I don't know if I'm comfortable with that. I think he's a decent shooter of the basketball. He's going to have hot stretches. But can we count on him consistently to be this efficient, 36%? Can he be 36, 37% for the rest of the season? Can he consistently make the right read? You know, so it's going to be a weird decision when it comes to this offseason, when it comes to Julius Randle. But I personally do think Leon Rose is like in love with Julius Randle. But what's your stance on Julius Randle right now? So currently he's playing like an all-star, though. Don't get me wrong. It's just like long-term picture. Can he keep this up? Can he? So he's averaging 24 points per game, 9.9 rebounds, 3.8 assists. He's shooting 46.7% from the field, 34.8% from three, 76.2% from the free throw line. I would like to see that go up. This overall team He needs to shoot better from the free throw line, in my opinion. It's frustrating. Like, he's getting to the free throw line like over 7 times per game. He's getting guys with that up and under. When someone's biting or reaching in, he just catches them. So that's huge for his game this season. So that's where, like, you can't be shooting 70% from the free throw line when you're getting there 7 times per game. You need to knock them down. Like Brunson, I don't know if those missed free throws got to his head, but he missed some free throws last game against the Phoenix Suns for sure. But he's averaging 24.2 points per game, 9.9 rebounds, 3.8 assists, 0.7 steals. 34.8% from 3, like I mentioned, 46.7% from the field, 7.6 threes per game he's attempting, 17.2 field goal attempts, and 34.9 minutes per game. And that is a career low with the Knicks, at least when it's come to him playing at a higher level, because 35.3 minutes per game the prior season, 37.6% his all-star season, but 32.5 with the Knicks' first season, which we had David Fizdale, so totally different story when it comes to the minutes distribution. He's just such a weird player to read. He's such a weird player to read. So, credit to Randle's playing very good right now. But are you guys starting to believe in Julius Randle again? That's the question. Because it's just like, he's playing very good for the stretch of basketball. And I understand everyone's going to have bad games. But is he going to go back into a stretch that he's playing low IQ ball? Yes, he's going to put up 20, but is it going to be on good efficiency? He's going to put up 20, but is it going to be on good efficiency? How is he going to respond to the adversity when his shots start to not fall? You know, is he going to move the ball, or is he going to continue to force it? Because he's knocking down some contested shots. He's knocking down some difficult shots. But I'm really interested to see how he's going to respond when they don't fall. Let me know down below your thoughts. Peace out, y'all.